2, 3, 4.
It's Steam Powered Giraffe podcast from Steam Powered Giraffe. It's the Bennettarium. We've got Bonnie and David, but no one else on the Bennettarium. It's the Bennettarium, and it's starting right now.
Okay, cool.
Welcome to the Bennettarium. We are your hosts. I am Isabella Bunny Bennett, and I play Rabbit in Steam Powered Giraffe.
And my name's David Michael Bennett, and I play the Spine in Steam Powered Giraffe.
It's just the two of us today. Chelsea is working, right?
Yes. Yeah, no, she works. She's working at the City Ballet, right?
Yes, and our special guest is this can of Perrier lime, which I'm going to pop open. It's going to be like that audio sensory thing that sounds really cool in your ears if you're wearing headphones. Doesn't that sound so pleasurable? Now you can listen to me drinking.
Why is it so syrupy?
I poured it into a trough.
Is it just water?
I have to drink like a horse.
Hey, did you ever hear that Reuben song?
I have not heard the
I'm gonna
Reuben
play
song.
it for you. Is that okay?
I've never heard it actually. I hear people talk about it all the time.
I don't think it's like a good enough song to. No offense to the people who helped like pick the subject matter I was going to sing about, but I don't think it's good enough to be on a.
Do you hear that? Do
album.
you hear how horrible you guys are?
but I think, but it's not bad considering I just pulled it out of my butt.
Entertain me. Let's hear it.
Headed back into the dungeon today. Well, it's an honest wage, but a meager pay. Into the depths, just like before. 100 feet below and 100 from the floor. What could any of us do for you? Oh, Reuben, if you knew then that your end wasn't far away. You fell into the darkness, and at the bottom you will stay. I tried my very best to always let you know how much you meant to me. But Reuben, if you knew then this wouldn't be so hard, don't you see? Okay, you got a verse and a chorus.
Cool. So you guys like, they wrote the lyrics or they wrote the melody?
No, they didn't really do anything other than I asked for suggestions, and then I went off of that.
That's cool.
I would like offer options, and then I did like a poll. That's when I was first starting it. Like, should it be a folk song? Should it be? And then I whittled it down, and then was like,
that's awesome. So are you still writing it?
Someone said they wanted to be like, no, it's done. I just have to record it now.
Okay, cool.
I think, but the vocals. But I don't know. It's like it's not really like, I don't know. Anyways, I don't need this guitar.
Awesome. Well, I made a song too. I'll play it for you. It doesn't have any instruments yet, but all aboard the fart trolley, everyone come. It's still a work in progress, but
so is this a hypothetical? Is it a metaphor, or is it just?
It's a trolley filled with farts, which is
how many people are on it?
a lot.
Like 2?
No.
Like more than a regular trolley?
More than 2, definitely.
So what kind of trolley? Like one of them San Francisco single car
definitely
trolleys?
like an old-timey one.
So like a single car
Everyone's
trolley.
just been eating like lard.
Not like the San Diego trolley, which is like
so
3 trailers, 3 cars long. It's just one like
yeah,
going
an
old-timey San
old-timey
Francisco.
Yeah. But everyone
Like the Rice-A-Roni trolley.
But all the doors are closed.
Why would so but then no one
they're
can
just
get on
hotboxing the farts.
No one would ever want to get on then.
Well, it was different times back then. People
back
didn't
then.
bathe.
This is a historical period.
This is actually the America was founded on this song. It was a prophecy, because obviously when America was founded, I don't know.
They didn't even have trolleys. So,
all right. So yeah, we've had an exciting.
Let's answer some questions. Here we go. We're just
I was just gonna catch up. I was gonna be like,
we can do that. We know what they want. They want their answers questioned.
Okay.
The questions answered.
Let's do it.
Starscrape asks, the Ren Faire show is absolutely amazing. Specifically, Brian's song. Does it have a name yet? Yes, it's called Lying Awake.
Man, we could have lied and said anything.
I don't know if we want to go back and
It's called
forth.
Butternubs.
Or do you want me to just spew them out?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. TI82 asks, what has been y'all's take on this whole Discord thing? Complaints, concerns, surprises, etc. I think they're talking about
Our Discord server or just Discord in general?
I think they're talking about our Discord thing.
Well, we can answer both. Discord in general it's like TeamSpeak or Mumble or any type of voice chat software that you usually use for gaming. That's its original intention.
But it's free.
But it's free. It has a web interface as well as a phone interface and as well as a computer interface. But it also is part social media platform. So it's a little different than some other.
It's nice. I've been using it for a couple of years now. It's pretty great.
And we made a server just because it's a popular thing to do now, and there's the Steam Powered Giraffe Reddit Discord server, which is fan run, but we wanted one to run ourselves so we could use it as a place to show, have announcements and stuff, and all that, as well as interact with fans.
I guess there's been some drama with some people, as there will be with any sort of social platform.
We go back to the days of our separate Cavalcadium forums, back when those used to be a popular thing. Before other social media sites, obviously. I mean, we still have those forums, but on the Engineer-eteers site, and they are free for everyone, but it's not like many people use them.
We don't have to moderate them so much, but yeah, I've had to moderate a couple people. I mean, I didn't have a choice, like, because we were doing like a game run last night, so I created a separate channel because everyone was just coming into the channel I was in, and I was like, and then they were just talking, but they weren't playing the game. We were trying to strategize, and I was like, I had to say, hey, sorry, I don't want to be the bad guy, but.
Yeah, I mean that's
if you're not playing. It just sucks because I have to be the bad guy when.
Well, it's a server. It's growing. We'll have to have rules like if you're not playing the game, please don't interrupt the.
Yeah,
that's happened before too. When I've played Elite Dangerous with some fans in the past, there'd be 2 of us playing the game and 10 people just sitting in and talking, and we're like, okay, well, we're trying to do this mission. And
see, it would be great if we had moderators, but then like the power goes to their head. They'd be like, oh, I got all the power in the world, and they go on a rampage and.
Well, I mean, we don't have any examples of that, but I mean, it's just I don't like fans ganging up on moderators because it's not fair.
It's just like as soon as like the first complaint comes in, you're like,
I mean, we have to
let's just shut it down.
Yeah, no, well, we have to
just shut it all down.
With a community as diverse of ours, we have a lot of children, people under the age of 18, as well as adults, and unfortunately, the issues do stem from folks under 18, and that's usually just because. People are learning and growing.
Can't really enforce an age limit or something.
Well, Discord, you have to be at least over 13 years old, but if you're under 18, you have to have your parents' permission.
So there we go. So
that's not our rules. That's you signing up for a Discord account.
So we just assume that you have permission from your parents.
Yeah, and our rules are not too strict, but there's it is what it is.
I think it's been good. I mean, I've used it. Connect with some fans and games. We made a little guild in Guild Wars 2, and that's been fun. And we got a guild hall last night, and that was really awesome.
I heard people complaining about how expensive it was.
What?
The guild hall?
Was it expensive? It didn't cost anything. Oh yeah, it was like 100 gold, and then it was a little pricey, but we got it up.
Do they have controller support yet for Guild Wars 2?
I mean, you can make anything controller support.
No, that's not. No, so you mean no?
They don't have
no controller interface.
No, they don't. You can make your own if you want.
I don't want to play the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, well, that's all it is. That's all it is. Someone was actually playing on a controller. They modded it.
Yeah, that's when I played it. I think I did that too. But if it's not like
they now have an action cam which plays more like ESO or some of those other. Makes it like a third-person shooter, which is kind of cool, but yeah, it's not for you. I don't know how you can't do.
How is that? Is that company making anything else, or are they just writing? Guild Wars 2?
Basically, like they used to be attached to NCSoft, who I think still owns Guild Wars 1 and a couple other games. They're still going strong with their. I don't know what they're doing now, but ArenaNet, yeah, they started Guild Wars 2, and that's really their bread and butter. I don't know. They haven't done anything else.
And they haven't had much expansions or anything, right?
They had one expansion, and we're having another one this fall.
But they haven't released any new races or classes or anything.
Yeah, they did release a new class, the Revenant. It's a magic warrior that draws from Ghosts of the Past.
Did they ever put those bird people in?
No, that'd be cool though. I mean, they're in the game. But they're not like a playable race.
Well, at any rate, that's weird that they haven't come out with like Guild Wars 3 or something.
It actually looks really good. Like it still runs. It came out in 2012, but 2017, like the new maps that came out with were really awesome. They look like you'd see it. I mean, the texture work, they don't have 4K support, which is my biggest gripe. So the user interface, because it's all painted and looks all painterly, it only goes up so large.
Because they did no vector stuff.
So it's a little hard to play on my 4K TV, but it still looks great, obviously.
I think Diablo has the same issue because it's all hand-drawn stuff too.
Yeah, and they have to like go in. I mean, I wouldn't care if it was a little pixelated if they just gave you the option to blow it up, you know.
Yeah, I think that's what they do on PS4 for Diablo.
Yeah,
because that mine and that has like dynamic 4K. So if there's too many enemies on screen,
So you did your first season in Diablo. What do you think?
Yeah, I played season 10. It's actually really. It's fun if you have people to play with, and even by yourself, there's enough challenges to complete by yourself. Because if once you've played enough Diablo and you beat the game, you're like, oh, what now? But the seasons like keep you coming back.
Yeah, I liked it. I played a couple on the PC. The hardest part is those challenge dungeons to get your.
Oh, the set dungeons.
The set dungeon.
There's no way I'm mastering mine. Like,
did you get it?
It was like, don't have any enemies touch you, and I'm like,
but
what?
you still completed it to get to finish it off, right? No,
I didn't master it, but I completed at least one of the main objectives.
And then that's how you get your final reward, I think.
Well, if you do the 3 other set pieces, then you get a pennant.
Okay, so the pennant. It's either a pennant or a pet sometimes.
For the set dungeon, it's always a pennant.
Well, for the season.
Oh, for the season, yeah.
Yeah, every season has a different reward.
I was talking about the set dungeon.
Yeah, so this season it was a pennant. Last season it was a pet.
Yeah, so no, it's fun.
Getting that
whatever.
Final thing is the hardest.
I like that when the season ends, it throws your Paragon levels, which is levels after you level up to 70. We're talking gibberish now to folks, but it's Diablo. It's an action RPG.
You also get to keep all the skins you unlock. So the new armor that you got, which is cool.
And then it just adds to my other thing, and then if I create another season character, he already's got Paragon levels from the other first character. So I'm waiting for the Necromancer.
I started up, but I just didn't have enough time. But I switched over to console. I have a lot of stuff unlocked on the PC, but it feels like starting fresh on the.
I mean, they're kind of two different games because console has the whole like. It's I don't know if it's faster, but you don't have to click as much.
I like it. Yeah, it feels really good on a controller. It works surprisingly well.
And the interface is completely redone for console, so it's almost like 2 separate games, but it's this because when I remember I played the PC version when it came out for a few years, and
it's a lot of clicking.
And once I got to the console, I was like, oh, this is like a game. I can fall asleep to that game, but it's a nice fall asleep. It's like I can just zone out.
Right.
And
it's nice.
Well, every once in a while, some of the stuff's hard. Anyways, video games, yay. Themibo asks, what was your inspiration for Pudding Bat, and can I still get a copy?
Oh yeah, thanks for the question. Yeah, I did a children's book, like 2 years ago called Pudding Bat's Big Night Out. It's available. You can buy it on Amazon, or you can get it autographed on my website, bunnybennett.com. Once this first edition sells out from my personal inventory, I'm going to see about getting it put into Barnes & Noble bookstores, but it needs to be a certain dimension, so I have to go back and redo all the art and crop it down or do something. And then maybe a long time ago, David and I talked about doing like a little sing-along with it. So maybe Steam Powered Giraffe will do that eventually, but I'm not like.
You also have the Steam Powered Giraffe children's book.
That's right. It's already written. Yeah. I just have to change it a little bit because one of our members left. And
that's okay. Yeah, no.
We'll see. But yeah, like I also wanted to work on that one. I have a lot of projects, so. But thanks. Yeah, you can buy a copy on my website or Amazon.
We answered this question a lot. That's on our I don't know. Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to find one that was stuff that we haven't. Blue Cheetah Jam asks, what kind of keytar does Bunny have that it can make a melodica sound for Clockwork Vaudeville?
Isn't that a Roland?
Yeah, the Roland Accent, which is pretty much the only like all-in-one keytar. It's a pretty standard keytar. If someone plays a keytar, it's that one, because anyone else is literally just a MIDI interface, and the Roland Accent is the standard. I mean, it comes in 2 colors, white and black, and that's the one. And they have programmable sounds, so you could probably get whatever you wanted in there. Like it has a pretty giant library. But if not, you could always it's also a MIDI interface, so you could have it run your own instruments. But I doubt most people are doing that kind of big setup, and you probably want an all-in-one solution. So yeah, Roland Accent, the only keytar out there, pretty much. Atlas Ghosts asks, what has been your personal experience as twin? Asking as a fellow identical trans twin.
What is our experience being twins?
So this is someone who's in your position, asking what it's like to be a twin, because they're just like us.
Oh, okay.
With their own robot. No, I don't know. Well, it's like we don't know what it's like to have other siblings. We have like step siblings, but you know that's a different experience together too. So
I feel like maybe the competition is a little up because we did everything on the same timeline.
Yeah, imagine birthdays and stuff.
It's not like with older siblings, like you might feel jealous or something, but you always can say in your mind that, well, they came before me or after me. It's totally different. They're being raised differently by my parents or something. But we it's almost like we're in constant competition, I think.
I don't think and much of that came up in our childhood. Maybe when we were little.
Well, it's just like
but most of like just a thought process that when you're in it.
Yeah, like, it's just like I don't know, like your achievements and stuff are kind of tied with each other a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing necessarily. It's just that everyone looks at us and just kind of piles us all.
Yeah,
as
we're one person,
right?
That's I think that's the. I don't know if
it's always like the other members of Steam Powered Giraffe and then the Bennett. Like they're all individuals, but we're our.
I mean, but that's more like going back to childhood too, you know, because you're always around. But at the same time, you know, we're using that to our advantage too. Like if that's what we're gonna be, then obviously.
Sure. I mean, that's why we have the Bennettarium. So I mean, some of you probably don't even know who's talking now.
Yeah.
Sometimes we sound a lot alike.
But so. I mean, it doesn't. The older we get, it doesn't. I don't care.
Yeah. Like I mean, I don't. Yeah, it's just
we're making a living, somewhat doing what we love, so we can be one person.
As a general experience, I guess it's kind of cool. But it's nice to have someone that can relate to you a lot. And
I mean, we kind of always went through the same stuff growing up. So like even puberty, like different life crises and stuff. Like everything that happened as with us as children, both of us were there for. And although we're different people, like it's still, like, it's different because I would imagine with older and younger siblings, like they are experiencing the same event differently because their brains are developed differently because if they're too far apart, and you're going through different stuff when you're growing up. And we're essentially, there's not too many times when we were on two different pages. Like we're all our life struggles as far as like. Oh, we gotta get a job. We're in high school now. Like we're always doing the same kind of thing, roughly.
I think a lot of like twins aren't like identical people. Once you leave the womb, like you're on different tracks. It's just that when you're raised together, like everything's gonna be kind of similar. So like there's like a whole documentary about this, like transitioning twins and like I know even like they're not twins, but the Wachowski sisters now. It's like. That's like that doesn't really make sense to me. I'm like that can happen. Like with twins, I thought it made more sense because you know, your brains are similar and stuff. But you know, after we left the womb, like things changed, like nurture and obviously, and even like the chemistry, like is probably subtly different. Mine pushed me over the edge to identify as a female. David,
and and our parents, you know, treated us a little differently. So that was a thing too. Like it's nature versus nurture, but I mean the body is complicated, so. Yeah. It doesn't stop changing, and because we're made from the same, we're like copies of each other. Like once you put us out in the real world, it's like everything like has a chance to change. But as far as like positive stuff goes with being twins and stuff, like having someone who went through similar stuff as you, it's like you don't have to explain it as much. Like it's like easier to understand where someone's coming from. Like even stuff that you know I don't relate to Bunny on, I still understand it just because we know each other. I think we probably know each other better than most siblings do, just because we were the same age. Sure. And we're also twins, so we have the same DNA, and that probably has something to do with our brain development and stuff. But also just, you know, it works. And pretty much the only like bad thing about being a twin is, I suppose, is I don't know, is that it's probably easy. I don't know any twins who hate each other. You know what I mean? Like it feels like, well, if we're stuck in this life together, you know what, we know some twins, and the ones that I remember is like even when they have like tiffs and they're doing their own thing, it's like they always come back together because it's like life is easier to handle when you have someone who's going through some like stuff. I mean, we need our space for sure, but you know, whatever. I mean, we work in Steam
We do work a lot. I mean, most of our relationship is pretty business oriented, which makes sense since we're doing Steam Powered Giraffe. But I think you know, living away from each other. I mean, we lived together for so long.
Yeah, I mean,
but eventually it just got to the point where we're just like, okay, we need to be our own people and do our own things. And But
good to hear from other twins. We touched a little bit on the trans stuff. We can always touch more on that subject in the future. I'm sure many people are interested in anything that may be considered taboo in the society, and if you can fix the world, that'd be great, and make everyone understand. Is that the sentiment?
I guess.
I don't know. Mel Adams, can you give me details or generalizations about Hororia? Citizens, creatures, society, geography, history, etc. That's Hororia.
Our made-up place in Kazooland.
That's A Nightmare Before Christmas. Steam Powered Giraffe.
I mean, we haven't written much about it other than what was on the Cavalcadium a while back, but it's probably where Delilah hangs out, or
Delilah Morio from
it's
Quintessential.
So there's monsters like vampires and werewolves, and
so it's like Halloween Town.
Yeah, essentially, it's like a giant gothic
spooky stuff.
Gothic spooky town.
So not just Halloween, but also like
I guess it would take its inspiration from like Transylvania,
okay,
like that.
But like the stories of Transylvania.
Sure, it's like a bunch of folklore, dark ghosts and vampires.
It's a spooky town.
Spook stuff, yeah.
It's the Haunted Mansion land.
Yes, essentially.
Clockwork Wolfie asks, "Will David put the Reuben song in the next album?" I don't know about that.
Playing that.
I don't know if it's good enough.
But you could put it on YouTube.
Yeah,
I think make like a video or something.
I think that's what it'll be. Is that I'm not super attached to it. I mean, I like some of the melodies, but I'm not like, this is a good song. It's whatever. Anyways, Seven Fibby asks, "Who named the daughter of Space Cosmica in the lore? Was it the astronaut herself?" In the lore.
That's a good question.
That's a good.
What is it?
Well, we never get to touch on, because it's not like writing dialogue for the whole thing. It's the narrative is very flimsy because it's on an album and we have to get to the next song. But I guess I kind of like to imagine. Well, it'd be an interesting, like if we ever touched on it again. Sony comes once, not Sony, they're terrible. Whatever the big company is now, Marvel or Disney, and they want that story told. Then we can cross that bridge.
So, but what happened?
Well, I imagine that they spend enough time together that there's going to be a scene of them choosing a name, because it's just one of those things of becoming a human. And I feel like if she's going through her adolescence, like in a blink of an eye, like, she develops as a human quickly because she's been around for a long time. Yeah. So I imagine that's what it would be.
So she picked it.
Well, she has to learn the word first, so she probably just...
So the astronaut probably...
Is probably just talking about space or something, and...
It's like, I'm going to call you...
I don't think it's
Cosmica.
that. I don't think we'd do that.
I don't know why it has this accent, but...
I think it would be more like, he said and here we are in the cosmos. And then it's more like it just sounds fine to her.
And she's like, call me Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, yeah, another one is the accordion, from the same, 7, is the accordion in the whale song a digital or non-digital one?
I don't remember.
I mean, we've
used both.
We've used because we have an accordion, a synthesized accordion that's actually an accordion, just is able to do more sounds.
Yeah, we don't use that one a lot because we have an electric accordion, which is kind of, if you record that, it's not like it sounds better than
yeah.
So if we were gonna record it. No, so we must have not, because we didn't use that one. It must have just been a digital one.
It was probably VST. So it was probably a real accordion that someone recorded. I mean, that's what a VST instrument is, unless it's a synthetic accordion sound. But
we've recorded my old accordion, the one that's actually like you hook up mics to it, and on like 2 Cent Show, and
we had one accordion in Captain for album 1.
I think we punched up some of the stuff too. I think like even on Whale Song, it's like multiple instruments creating that sound, maybe.
Yeah, I think there's there might be there's probably other reed instruments in there, maybe some harmonicas and stuff. I mean, that's the blessing of VST is you can experiment and and figure out something that sounds not like what you could do on stage. We got 3 more. We should just go through them all. I don't see any that are. Poison DDT asks, "David, great mind work in cellophane. Did you paint your face black, or was it very good editing?" No comment. Tyla Elam asks, "What does the topic of ice cream come up so much? Oh, why does it go down? Multiple albums, podcasts, and even the YouTube live stream concerts. I think it's because robots don't eat, and ice cream is such a delight for humans. I think that's where it comes from.
We just like to joke about ice cream. I don't know.
I mean, it's not like we're not aware that we're using it all the time.
Doesn't everyone love ice cream? I mean,
yeah,
it's like, except.
I mean, it could be chocolate shakes or something.
Yeah, I like chocolate shakes.
That's also been in the concerts. We've talked about chocolate shakes before.
Milkshakes
or something.
Yeah.
It's technically ice cream, I guess. Spin Crepe asks, if Bunny were food, what food would she be? Since she turned me into a crepe.
What? Oh, because I said spine crepe, just like you did.
What?
Because I called that person crepe, because that's what their name is. That's how I read it.
Is it not crepe?
I think it's supposed to be spine creep, but I don't know. It's not what I read. So,
yeah, but they're using.
I don't know. What do I pick my favorite food? What do I embody as a food? I don't know.
If you had to be,
you get to pick your own food. Maybe I'll be like a pizza. 'Cause I like pizza.
I like my. What if isn't it?
I think David would be like
weirder.
black licorice.
What?
No one likes black licorice.
I don't really like I don't really like licorice.
How about like red licorice?
I don't like red licorice either.
I don't know.
But that might as well be candy compared to.
Well,
black
you like healthy food, so you would be like quinoa or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
So what if you were a hamburger? I mean, that's weird though, right? Because you're not just the bun or the lettuce or the tomato. You're also a dead cow.
I mean, are we just breaking this down to the elements that we're made of?
They did not give us enough information about this.
I'm gonna pick. Can it be like shortbread cookies? Because that sounds like
a lot of things, though.
I don't care. I want to be shortbread cookies.
All food is technically the corpse of some living thing.
Right. Well, you're black licorice, the corpse of I don't know what black
licorice root.
Licorice root. Yeah.
But
I thought it was like the stomachs of rabbits or something.
Maybe.
No one likes that stuff. Who likes black licorice?
There's people out there.
Put down your hands.
We can't see
person listening. Get back to driving or wherever you're.
Is it cold in here?
Listening. I'm fine.
Maybe it's because I'm right next to the air conditioner.
You can do whatever you want. I'm comfortable.
Okay, now that we're done with questions, now we can catch everyone up on the goings-ons and the Steam's Powered Giraffes.
Well, we just did a Renaissance fair this last weekend, and it was a great turnout.
The Irwindale Pleasure Renaissance Fair.
The Irwindale Renaissance Pleasure Fair in Irwindale, California. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, we didn't know what to expect.
And there wasn't, it was actually apparently it was one of the most crowdediest, I don't know language, most crowded days.
It was packed.
Weekends, yeah,
it was a really
packed.
good big audience.
They had to get the yeoman and the guard to escort us from our parking spot to the stage.
Just because there was so many people, like just a sea of people.
And it was not like they were all there for us or something.
No, it was just a really good audience for the fair that day.
There was a lot of people. I mean, there were people complaining that they didn't have anywhere to sit.
They couldn't sit, yeah.
But I mean, that's good
not
for us.
That's not a bad
not a bad thing for us. Yeah.
So yeah, it went really well. The owners and everyone who hired us enjoyed it immensely, and we got nothing but praise.
Well, we don't really usually do stuff like that because we tried our best to try to get our visuals in there, but it just didn't work with the sun, unfortunately. And of course, there's no lights during the day.
Yeah, it was. It surprisingly worked really well. And I know it's kind of weird, like, oh, Renaissance Fair, and you guys are a robot band, but it's because they themed this weekend. Or that weekend as RenCon weekend.
Which is the first year they're doing this, I hear. And basically it's like, oh, come in your anime, come in your video games. I mean, it all works. Like you'll see people do that all the time. And the weekend before, they had steampunk weekend, so...
They have tons of traditional days. They have a pirate weekend. This fair is a meshing of everything. So if you want something that's super accurate, you're going to have to go to Portrayal War or whatever that place is called.
I mean,
it's not the SCA or anything,
or you go to one of the weekends that is more properly themed.
Right.
I mean, but even Renaissance Fair, like you're going to see a gas stove cooking food somewhere.
It's pretty immersive for the most part.
Yeah, they try their best to hide all the behind the scenes stuff. Like it's looks.
Yeah, this fair is great because they even hire like fake vendors. Like there's people that will just have racks of meat that they'll just walk around, or they have the Puritans who are hilarious, and they You know, if you're dressed like a sorcerer or a barbarian or something, they'll start picking on you and stuff. It's really fun. Like,
I can't wait.
yeah.
So we didn't get to experience the fair because by the time we got there was a bunch of traffic, so many accidents going up. So we were about a good half an hour late from when we were supposed to arrive. But of course we planned to have enough time. We got there and we immediately had to go start doing sound check and stuff because Steve had gotten there earlier to set up more stuff. And I mean, I didn't get to see much. I've never been to the Irwindale one. I've only been to the Escondido Renaissance Festival, which is a really small one.
Yeah, that one's tiny in comparison. It's not a bad one. I mean, it's all right. Esco's just smaller, you know.
Two different fairs. I mean, you can say Irwindale's more commercial and stuff, but I mean that's just because it's bigger.
I like it. I like that it's big. It's big and fun, and you just get lost in it.
Yeah, the Escondido one's a little more intimidating to me, just because it's
very clicky. You got to find people that you know and stuff to have a good time.
Yeah, and you know, I've gone there. I don't know, probably 4 times over the last 5 years or so, and yeah, I felt like after a while you kind of know everyone that's going there, and it kind of, you know, I don't know, it feels a little more like you stand out. I much prefer not standing out in a crowd. Well, just because there's enough people that, you know,
right.
You're not that all.
Irwindale has a lot to do. It's a very.
But we get to go. We get to go in our normal costumes. It's hanging out right behind you.
Yeah, we're gonna do that this weekend. I've already been once for a day. It was fun. I'm gonna come back with David and we'll take lots of pictures. Don't you worry. Worry.
And we won't say when we're going, just so you know we can just enjoy the fair and. Because we're not doing a Steam Powered Giraffe thing. It's nothing official. We're just going to enjoy it.
No. Though everyone wants us to come back and do Steam Powered Giraffe, so that's great. I mean,
yeah,
everyone.
Hopefully they'll
hire us again. Who knows?
Yeah, it worked out pretty well. I mean, it's a learning experience too. I think we knew what kind of worked and what kind of didn't. There was my only complaint, and I think people took it in good spirit, was one of the speakers kept going out, and it was due because the speakers are out in the sun for so long. And you know, we don't usually perform outdoors with our equipment and stuff. And one of the cables, you know, plastic expands and stuff in the heat and gets flimsy and stuff, and it just kept falling out. And so they had to, in the middle of the show, at least 3 times, they had to go plug the speaker back in, which seems like, why isn't your equipment working? I'm like, well, you don't really expect a cord to fall out because it's whatever. Anyways, other than that, I think it was pretty good. Show was about an hour long, and autographs was about a little more than 2 hours.
Our next show's probably going to be another internet stream.
Yeah.
We've been talking a lot about that.
We're still solidifying the date, but as soon as we have it, we're going to start advertising that again. I think we talked about this before, but we kind of want to make each live stream special because it dawned on us after our first 2 that we're like, we don't want to keep doing the same show. I think that was the consensus that we agreed to.
We're gonna space it out more quarterly or whenever, and I think it'll work out because we do have bookings and stuff that will interfere, so we find an opening, we shoot for it, and through the year you'll see the show evolve. You'll see different songs come in and out,
because otherwise if we kept doing it monthly we would have the same show because we're touring with some of that stuff. So
and we want to make it unique. We're going to try to aim it less like the live show. That's what we originally just took the live show and kind of butchered it up and put it on stage, and it wasn't
you know, Brian's 3rd performance with us, like, you know,
it wasn't bad. It's just
the rehearsals were not geared towards a live stream.
We're definitely going to approach it like not treating it as much as a live show, or try to push it towards that direction, and just kind of just treat it like what it is. It's a YouTube concert. There's no audience. It's silent. You know, it's like, so let's play that.
We've got some extra things. I think I talked about it last time, where we're going to try some different miking stuff, so the sound sounds more like you're in the space rather than we're directly in your ears. So we'll see. We're always improving. I mean, we always had to point out that one live stream, either one of those live streams we did, more people saw us than would see us in 1 year, in 2 years, than in 3 years.
It's crazy.
It's like an astronomical amount compared to how many people show up to our physical shows. And there's a lot of people that come to our shows, but the internet, when it's free, there's people who, you know, we probably have about 100,000 or so people who know about us, and of that, a few thousand people are actively, you know, keeping up with us. And you know, when we get a stream and there's tens of thousands of people there watching, you know, at the end of a week or something, like, that's more people that would come and see us than in a whole year. I mean, not including stuff like back in the day where the zoo, where there was just happened to be 10,000 people each day watching, walking through the zoo. But a normal concert, you have anywhere from 300 to 800 people, at least for our stuff, and that even with a few of those a month, like it's never will add up to the amount that people watch on the internet.
Right.
So
It's different. I mean, I think the live shows are special. They're always going to be, nothing can compare like when you have an audience in the room, and it just changes everything because we're playing off of the audience.
It also changes, if you watch it. If we could get an audience into one of those spaces, it would be great. But unfortunately, we're not able to do that yet.
That would help us just to have
the minute
a
you have
live
an
audience there.
the minute you have an audience, you need insurance. You need a lot of other stuff, and these venues that we're using are not allowed.
We'll keep experimenting with this. I mean, obviously, we're getting ourselves out there more and more. We're doing all these live streams, and not just with the robots. David with his Reuben song, me with my art on the YouTube.
And looking at the analytics, it seems like most people only care about us playing music.
Yeah, but I mean, you're engaging on different levels. Like, no one's gonna on YouTube. We put up the podcast there, but we don't expect anyone to actually watch.
There's a few people, but yeah.
But it's just so we can get it out there. Like more the merrier.
Wherever
right?
you want to listen. That's the idea with the podcast, is wherever you want to listen to it.
And it doesn't hit as much. It doesn't hit as hard as like say a concert, of course.
Well, yeah. I mean, something like a podcast. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, podcasts, especially ones like ours, it's not for everyone. Like the younger generation. I mean, you just got to look at a YouTube channel, and I'm not judging anyone, like Smoosh Games. Like, look at that. That's like geared towards people who need constant entertainment. You know what I mean? Like, it's very fast paced. It's very like, oh, this is what teenagers, and
we're boring.
We're boring. We're adults, and I don't want to. And we're not. I mean, we can be goofy and stuff, but I'll never be able to do something like something like Smoosh Games does. And obviously, I watch their honest trailers and stuff. But
we could try and just be like, oh,
but I just
yelling like,
but that's just not what we are. And that's why we kind of aim our demographic at everyone rather than just
it's a wide net. Hopefully, that what we're aiming for. I mean, something's gonna appeal. That's why we do have art, or we do have music that we play, or just like little jam sessions or Q&As or whatever.
But with that said, I can spend 4 hours, like an hour or two setting up, and then another 2 hours like streaming, like making that Reuben song, like showing it off all the recording process and stuff, and get a few thousand. Or I can use my cell phone for 30 minutes, play a few songs, and get tens of thousands of views. That's kind of like, it's not disheartening, but it's kind of like, well, I'm glad there's people who are dedicated to the boring stuff, but it is kind of weird. It's kind of weird. With the internet, you kind of see like, people like the quick. They need something. Sure. Well, digestible.
I mean, it's the same thing that goes for our whole act. Is like,
it's hard to invest.
On the surface, we're Honeybee or Diamonds.
Yeah.
You go a little deeper, you're like, okay, we're a whole band, and then okay, these live shows, and then after that, there's lore and all these different facets to the act. And it's the same with catching audience members. It's like, the general music that we play is the thing that pulls people in, or the looks. If we stream makeup, then it's gonna have larger views than I don't know, something else. But yeah, it's
not to say that we won't do the other stuff, because we know there's an audience for it.
Oh, no, yeah.
But
sure.
It's just that if we, it would be stupid of us to not do the crowd pleasing stuff every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, through the week, like, there's so much stuff you can get invested in Steam Powered Giraffe, whether it's following our social medias of the band members, or watching streams that we're doing on our personal Twitches or YouTubes.
Sure.
But, it's just, how deep do you want to go? Where do you want to invest your time? And it varies from person to person.
Sure. So Renaissance Fair, our next one's going to be a live stream, but our next in-person show, not a live stream show.
We're going to Chicago, or rather Rosemont, Illinois.
Yeah, and that's for Anime Midwest. We don't know the schedule yet, but we're double checking with it, and we're going to post that online. It should be similar to probably last year, since we've been to Anime Midwest for the last several times.
It's a really great convention, really fun.
Yeah, I think it's the second biggest one we go to. Maybe
there should be panels. There's concert,
the autograph opportunities,
lots of autographs.
That's always a fun one to do. And right after that, maybe I think 2 weeks after that, we're doing our show in San Diego County, our Comic-Con show titled Steam Powered Giraffe, live in concert. And that's at the Escondido Performing Arts Center. So
Yeah.
it's the same one we did. It's the same theater we did in.
It's not very close to San Diego, but
It's about with traffic probably half an hour or so.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of a risk, but you know.
But I mean, the thing is that the theater that we're using is good for us, and the other options are compete with everything else downtown.
Right.
and
So
we can't compete.
We
with
haven't done
everything
a
downtown.
Comic-Con show in a long time because they're usually not very viable. But we're gonna risk it.
Yeah, I mean,
see.
there's a lot of shows that Thursday night. There's a lot of shows that entire week. Thursday night is the best one that we've seen over the years. And yeah, we know there's people out there who want to see us while they're in San Diego, so
right,
that's why we're doing
Comic-Con.
it. Yeah.
So hopefully, yeah. And if you haven't purchased your tickets yet, get them. There's still VIP seats.
Oh yeah, we got VIP stuff.
But those go fast.
And yeah, we got I think we you VIPs get that little swag bag. We got the last I think in February we had 2 like exclusive little postcard prints.
Yeah, we had postcards. You got an exclusive button, which was great.
Yeah, I mean the VIP button I think we always throw in there just because it's like a nice one. But yeah, I think for this one we're gonna have like two more exclusive items in there.
Oh, I gotta
exclusive items. One's
I know one's the poster. I gotta print those.
Everyone wants the show poster for that.
Yes, we'll have the show poster.
If VIP thing's not your thing, VIP you get to
watch a sound check.
It's a sound check, which
we'll
is
talk to you guys.
That's not everyone wants the show ruined, but some people really want that.
Yeah, they want to see the behind the scenes.
They want to see us break character more
and tune and.
Yeah, and that's the only time we were able to do stuff like that is when we put on shows ourselves because we can allot the time
right
and all that. And yeah, it's worked out last February. Yeah,
it's a really nice theater. So if you haven't been, you'll definitely enjoy the venue.
Yeah, and yeah, it's probably better than being downtown, anyways. I mean, if you're gonna have to go somewhere, at least you're not downtown.
The area is really nice with restaurants and everything, so you'll find some great things to do before and after. There's a movie theater right across the street too. After that, I think what's the next show? Is it the UK?
I think it is the UK. Yeah, that's in August, right?
Yeah. End of
Yep.
August. It's really exciting.
I think they still have tickets. They release them slowly, but I think
people keep saying they're sold out, and I look at the website, and I'm like, no, they're not. They're still up.
They did change their ticketing website within the last few months, so that might have confused people. But they still have tickets. They release them in batches, but there's still some for the concert and stuff. So you should be good.
Yeah,
if you want to go, you should be able to find
Keep
tickets.
looking, because I know it can be confusing because they offer them in like different packages.
Yeah.
So just check all the packages, make sure, because some of them
and if
include different things.
If you do have any issues, feel free to go to the Welcome to the Asylum Facebook page and shoot them a message because they're real helpful and we'll get back to you.
Right.
Or send a message on their website too. The Asylum Steampunk Festival in the UK. It's the only time we're going to be in the UK this year, and we're happy that they're able to make that happen for us because without that we would never be able to.
It's hard to get out there. It's expensive. Flights are really expensive.
Yeah, and it's the least we can do is offer that exclusivity.
If you don't make it to the concert, there's still plenty of opportunities. There's a giant autograph session that we do. It's always really fun. There's other, I don't know, panels.
Yeah, I don't think they solidified all of them. I don't know if they're doing photos ops this year again.
They still haven't given us a final schedule, but there's so many opportunities to meet with us outside the concert.
Sure, yeah.
The concert's pretty cool too.
It'll be fun, and also the UK got to see Hatchworth last year, and they'll get to see Zero this year. So
yep.
So
after that, we'll be going back to Illinois.
In Lockport,
which was a nice little show, and
it was outdoors, and it was kind of like a festival, but it was still in a tent, and that worked out pretty well.
It was pretty good.
They have a VIP thing there, and that one I think the schedule this year is that we do the VIP thing before the concert, and that's a lot of mingling and stuff.
They give you like food and drinks, and you do a lot of cool stuff.
It seemed like from the patrons we were talking to, they was a pretty good deal. Treat you like royalty.
Last time they had like all these hot dogs, and I was so hungry. I was like, I didn't get a hot dog though. I was about to be like, okay, I'm gonna go over here, and then they were putting it all away. I was like, no.
Well, that's the thing of being the performers is because you get in the room and you're like, okay, we have this much time. Because at the end of the night, you're able to budget your time a little better because you're like, okay, there's no show after this.
You know what my favorite thing was?
Huh.
Being right next to the train tracks and being behind, like having your back to the train tracks and the autograph line when you're signing, and then suddenly you just hear, and and then the whole tent flies up and you're just scared out of your mind.
I jumped out of my body.
It's so loud, and you feel it roaring by because we're right next to the train tracks.
At any rate, that's a fun show.
It's really great. It was a lot of fun.
And yeah, we've got more shows down the road for this year. I think that's enough to.
That's quite down the line. A lot of them are in the works. We can't say anything until contracts are signed. So, yeah, and of course we'll sprinkle out some more live streams in the rest of the year, and I don't know how many more, but it all depends on availability.
And we should. I don't think we've talked. Did we talk about it on the podcast? I can't remember last time.
We should talk about the vinyl.
We just put vinyls up for pre-order. They take a long time to manufacture, so pre-orders made sense to us.
I think right now maybe people are hesitant to purchase because it seems like they're not going to be available for a long time. But
yeah, I mean it'll take we put November as a default just in case there's an issue and we have to have the masters and stuff redone. But I think it'll be fine just based on the company being pretty.
But
nice
this will be our hot item going for the winter, hopefully. But
and it's music from SteamWorld Heist, so it's the album that we did for the SteamWorld Heist video game, and it was the perfect size for a record.
The cost for like a 2-cent show or something would be
it'd be double the price.
Yeah.
Almost, because we'd have to do 2 records to fit it on there. Maybe album 1, maybe. But we don't want to cut any songs, so we want to do other vinyls, but I know they're going to be limited releases. I don't think, just based on the manufacturing of them and how other artists do it, I don't think there's a way to keep them in stock. I think it's going to be like who wants a vinyl of this one?
Right.
Pre-order. Right. We'll put them out, and of course we'll order a few extra, but they're so much more expensive to make than anything else we make that.
So yeah, get it.
We have to
if you get this one now too, it helps us recoup our costs to try to offer more vinyls in the future. So even if it's not your favorite album, pick it up.
Yeah,
it helps.
I mean, we know that the sales aren't going to be nearly as good as digital or physical, but we want to offer vinyls for people who want them.
Yeah.
And
plus, this, even though they're all different recordings and different styles of popular songs of ours on that album,
from this album, yeah,
they're still really, really great. There's a great slow AEH.
Yeah, it's not like, forget about those old ones. Our intention was to have, these are different takes on the same songs.
Just reimagining. I wouldn't. The Honeybee that we did was all right. I think instrument-wise and harmonies, it had some great stuff going for it. But the way I sang it, I wouldn't do that again.
I mean, it's nice to have different versions.
Yeah.
And AEH is a fun one because it's like completely different than the other one. But also, it was because it was for a video game, and that's what they wanted. So
right. On Top of the Universe was great to revisit that one. It's
I saw a review somewhere on iTunes. It was probably a few years ago, but obviously it was a year ago. When it came out, it was like they said, I don't like how On Top of the Universe has this humor on it. I'm like, wait a minute. The first version of our original version was more had the weird humor had humor on it.
Did it? It was just us like
they hit me
talking
with a mallet.
Oh yeah, right at the end.
But so that's what I was weirded out.
And that song always had we didn't put it on the album, but during the live shows, On Top of the Universe has this whole bit in between.
So we added that to make it like, this is like what we do live. But the album version has the humor in it. So I was confused, like, what album are they listening to where we're not making
to be honest, there wasn't that much humor. Honestly, like we took out the mallet bit for this new release.
Oh, the new release, yeah.
And the humor is just I don't know. It's like we're just like kind of riffing with each other.
It's just the robots talking.
There's no jokes. Even funny. It's just kind of cute. I don't know. But anyways,
some people just want the robots to shut up.
This is just another like irritation for us because it comes up. It's just that people don't understand that we're a comedy act, because they don't see the live shows and they base everything on like Honeybee, or like if they just listen to the music. Anytime they see a comedy track in there, they're like, "What is this doing here? This seems so out of place."
Or they don't want any talking during the middle of the song. And we're like, "Well, we don't try to do that, but every once in a while it's like it kind of fits, you know.
Yeah. I really like that version. I think it's almost better than the first one, but though I like that one too.
Well, you can't please everyone. But anyways, vinyls, there are for pre-order right now on steampoweredgiraffe.com.
It has some great Sam work that has the theme from Steam World Heist, the whole instrumental version of that, which is really awesome.
It's going to be a nice transparent orange gold color.
Is the art already submitted to them? Do we have to tighten that or?
No, it's still in production.
So they have to produce it first, and then before they.
So this is how it's gonna go. First, we're gonna wait for enough pre-orders, and then we can start the production.
Oh, I just didn't know what the.
No.
All right, I see.
It's there, but we can't start the production until we get more pre-orders.
All right, so so order your Steam World Heist so we can.
Because right now we can't do it. We would have to cancel all pre-orders right now. But that's only because we've been doing it for a week, and so we're gonna wait and
pick it up.
If no one else pre-orders, then we might have to cancel. But I think it'll be fine. And most people are probably saying, "Oh, I want 2 Cent Show." I'm like, well, we'll get to that, but we'll be less inclined to do it if because right now it's like we can't even do it at cost. Like
the thing is, this was
we'd
like
be paying you to.
This was something that had to happen too because it's a partnership with Image Inform too. They wanted a vinyl release for the music and stuff, so this is our way of providing that too.
Yeah. So if you want vinyls, and I know it's not the album everyone wants, but we want to do the other ones. It's just this is the one. This is the one that made sense, and of course
if we do 2 Cent Show, are we gonna remaster it?
No, I mean, we're not remastering it because we have to master it for vinyl. So,
I just meant like because some of the audio back then was a little compressed. No,
I'm not changing anything. People don't want it changed.
You're probably right. It's probably just.
It's going to be mastering it to make it sure it sounds okay, good on. Well, I say okay on vinyl because to me, I think. Whatever. I'm not a huge vinyl fan, but I understand that some people like it.
It has quality stuff that's a little different.
A
little warmer, a little.
I mean, it's not like I like super compressed stuff, but I mean that's the age we live in. Like, I mean, I like my MP3 super high quality.
This is a long time.
There's still compression in them.
Long time coming for these.
But yeah, no, I'm excited to get some, and yeah, they will be limited release. So don't expect them to be in our. If we do have any extras to sell online, like don't expect them to be many, and as well as when we finally do have them by the end of the year, at the latest. And for shows, I don't expect us to have any to take anywhere, because if we did, we'd only be able to take like 5, and of course they would, yeah.
And it would only be at local shows.
Anyways, I don't mean to sound negative with the vinyls and stuff. I'm just I've seen a lot of questions, and I'm just trying to I'm trying to answer all of them by throwing out information.
It's the technical aspect of making a vinyl, and we're not as big as we appear.
No, we're super small, like. Yeah.
That's why, like, every year we only usually have, like, one hot item. Last year it was Quintessential. And the year before that it was Vice Quadrant and Steam World Heist and the Montana song. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. And we're probably not having an album this year, by the way. I know we've said that on other podcasts.
We're not really planning anything. So if we can't say anything because...
But we don't want people to be waiting. That's our big thing right now, because...
Our motto right now is that we've released... so many albums sequentially, just because it happened chance because we.
Yeah, I mean, if we would have had Vice Quadrant, and then we would have waited, and then we would have had Quintessential, but we also had Steam World Heist that the release date wasn't up to us; it was up to when the game released. So.
We just feel like putting the brakes on a little bit. So I mean, we're working on songs. As those of you who saw the live show at Irwindale, I mean, there's a new song that we portrayed. Yeah, no one's heard before.
Brian's has his own song now.
Someone actually asked me. Like, so you did the song live, but where's the music video? I'm like, well, we don't have the time to, to make a perfect release.
we don't have a recording of it yet.
No, yeah, actually that's true. Like we've actually.
I mean, maybe we do, but we don't have an official recording.
This is the first time we're actually like building songs for the live show first.
Well, since we started having an album, because when we started, of course, we did them all live first,
sure,
and then when our first album was taking all the songs we did live and putting them on an album. That's how album 1 came about.
I feel like this is better because we'll know the song, and that final version will be closer to what what Brian wants.
Yeah, I mean, take any songs on 2 Cent Show. A lot of those, not all of them, but a few of them were, they were made first with the album, and then we took those and turned them into live, and then of course they kind of evolved from there.
Right, like that's why Juju Magic's live version is so good. Actually, no, we had the live version going of Juju Magic before the.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, there's differences, and we want to.
I mean, there's sometimes where that wouldn't work, like the concept album of Vice Quadrant. There's no way we would have played 20 some odd songs live. It's just we don't have a set long enough, and we're not around long enough.
So yeah, I think it's also an incentive to go to the live shows, experience those new songs, and obviously they will be available for purchase and stuff in the near future. When we're not gonna say when.
It's kind of weird too, because like Wired Wrong, we never had a version available, and it took forever. And then when it finally came out, it was like, eh. But because that's another thing, it also can hinder you. Like oh, I like the live version better. I'm like, well, or it's the opposite where I like the album version better, and like so.
Can't please everyone.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no ideal way to do it. I mean, I guess for most people, you would hear it live and then have the CD available immediately. I don't have no idea.
Well, we don't have that yet. We're working on all that though. There's only 3 of us. But yeah, I mean, the products, some other stuff we're working on that don't have any release dates, but we're gonna finally bring back a button series. Not that everyone's clamoring for
buttons,
but it's fun and it's a cheap thing we can make.
Yeah, our button series, we usually had 6 buttons, and there would be like the 3 robots, and then like either the Walter Workers or like Bebop or GG, and they're all like cartoonified. So
those have been sold out for years. So we're gonna make another batch in the future.
But that's for fun. It's not like we're making bank off of selling everyone buttons.
Sure. But it does help. Everything helps.
Oh yeah, every cent. Even a wristband. If you buy a wristband from us, that few cent profit that we make is worth it. But we have products because people want them, not because we're trying to milk people for money.
Other projects this year, though. I mean, obviously the live streams are great, and we're trying to advance our YouTube content. I'm still working on Robotime Steam Show episode 2. It's just a lot of editing. There's so much. I've gotten the base of it done, the meat of it, but now it's just like peppering in the. I don't want to give away too much, but it's a lot of work, and so that'll be done sometime, and hopefully by the end of the summer.
I am working on a music video too, but it's probably not anything that anyone's expecting. So
I'm working on a music video too, but it's gonna take forever to get that done. And
but we still have stuff, like we have stuff filmed from, like, I think we even have one from, I don't know if it's ever gonna happen, but we have stuff that Hatchworth Sam filmed before he left the band,
right?
In anticipation, because we had ideas and we're like, well, if we want to make use of it, so we have stuff. It's right now we're focused on live shows and like.
Obviously,
Brian's new songs and stuff, and
it's basically like restructuring the act. But
I mean, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, we haven't had a member change in a while, and that member change, like, I mean, it kind of restructured the entire act. It's a little less intense this time because we've been through it before, but it is almost like we have to find the footing of everything again. Like, yeah, Bunny and I are still doing similar stuff, but we want to raise up all 3 members, and Brian is finding his place and getting his own repertoire.
I started bass. Now I can play bass.
So if you didn't see the show, Bunny played bass on Brian's song.
And Brian's gonna pick up some other instrument. Well, he can play piano, so it's only a matter of time before he gets that into his hands.
Yeah, the guitar.
We'll just find the right moment for it. But yeah, I mean, the comics, I'm still working on Redcore slowly, very, very slowly. So I'll push that this year. I'm just finishing up my dragon art that you guys have been.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Watching.
I can't wait anymore. But I'm sure you can regale everyone with tales of things.
Yeah, I'll talk about comics. Why not? Because Steam Powered Giraffe has a comic that I've been working on since like 2010, 2009, and it's changed, but the story's still ongoing, and it's only has like so many pages. I think we're in the 30, 40s now, but it's been slow coming. But you can read it on steampoweredgiraffe.com, and it has a variety of artists. Myself, Sam, Luke, and Gabby have contributed. And right now we're kind of taking a break from it, but we did just get over a hump in the arc, so that's good. We have a bunch of comics. We have some things we call nibbles, just tiny little comic strips that Sam and I made that you can take a look at. Have to do with the robots. We also have Hatchworth and the Blue Ghost. That's a one-shot that Sam made. And I'm working on a one-shot called Red Core, which is ongoing, and it's how Rabbit transitioned. It's pretty cool. It's just like everything I do it's a lot of work. So I want to get that done before the year's over. We'll see. It's a long time coming, but I'm pushing ahead with it. I have other ideas for comics that are just kind of in the pipeline. It's not a priority for us because it's not like it makes money, and it's not like people are clamoring for it. So it's purely a passion project. But yeah, check out steampoweredgiraffe.com. There's so much stuff you probably don't even know exists.
I updated all the link sections on the main Steam Powered Giraffe website.
I saw that.
There's a social media icons when you first go to the website. It's right below the big picture of us, and there's a Discord button there. But if you don't know what social media stuff is what based on their logos and icons, there's now the contact page is now contact/links, and if you go there, it has links and descriptions of all the social media stuff, as well as a link conveniently to the member page that shows all our personal social media.
There's quite a lot.
And now I just need to I need to add. I feel like on that link page I need to add like the icons again because then it'll be because right now it's a bunch of text and it looks like people want to just see the icon, but
it's probably a good idea.
But I was lazy. So wait, I have another thing that I worked really hard on last night.
Oh.
So when we were at the Ren Fair, there were two guys came up. I'm not assuming maybe I am. Okay, two people came up. They were guys.
Just doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. But now that I've said it, I feel like
there was two people that came up.
There was two people that came up, and they were guys because I used my process of what's the word?
I don't know.
I used my brain and was like, I made a good judgment, and okay. Anyways, two people came up and they said the Xbox One Fallout 4 Steam Powered Giraffe radio mod stopped working, and I was like, really? I didn't even know it had any issues, and so then that stuck with me, and I was like, I gotta fix that. So then a day later, I looked at it. I'm like, oh crap, I don't remember how to do any of this, so I rebuilt it from the ground up because and I found the problem, and I think I fixed it for both Xbox and PC. Apparently what would happen is you would play enough songs, and then after a while, if you reloaded your game, this radio station would be silent, and would only work again if you started a new character or reloaded the mod by disabling it or re-enabling it, which is stupid. So I think I fixed it. It was a stupid scripting error. I don't know how it got past me. It's not like the radio mod is not that complicated. Like once you know the Bethesda creation kit, like it's not too difficult. Like I can't do much. I only know enough to do the radio stuff, but I was like, it's just one of those things like, oh my god, so stupid.
Well, there you go. So it's working for PC and Xbox now.
Yeah. Anyways, if you're wondering what that is, PC and Xbox One Fallout 4 has mod support, and you can just go into the game, go to mod, search Steam Powered Giraffe, and you'll find the radio mod. It has quite a number of selection of songs, and they're all I re-exported those as mono sources and added a little vinyl filter to it, and it's randomized pops and clicks. So it's subtle. You're not gonna be able to hear it over the Fallout sounds, but when you hear a stereo song come out on your Pip-Boy, it doesn't sound quite right. So making it all mono definitely makes it sound like
That's
this
cool.
kind of fits. So yeah, and there's a lot of songs, and go get that mod. And I hear it all the time. PS4 users say, when is it coming to PS4? And unfortunately, if you look on PS4, there's no radio mods, and there's a good reason for that. Is because, unfortunately, the Fallout 4 PlayStation 4 version does not let you use external assets, which means any mods have to make use of what's already in game, and that's Sony's thing, and that was the trade-off for them bringing mods to PS4. So all the mods are very not as great because you're not going to see like Macho Man Randy Savage in Fallout 4 or something because on PS4 because they need. Which I guess is smart for them because it's copyright content, I guess. But that's why we can't do. I mean, we could put it on there, but there would be no songs. It would just be it would be a silent radio. So it's nothing that someone can figure out. It's just not possible.
I get to go on vacation in a little bit.
Where are you going
this week?
No, I mean, you don't have to say.
It's actually a staycation
Oh.
with the boyfriend. So we're just gonna play video games and maybe go to museums or the zoo or something. We just been lacking quality time just because he works all week and I obviously do shows. It just doesn't always sync up.
No,
so.
yeah, I mean, we work on weekends a lot, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'll still be doing stuff probably, but I don't want to go.
Yeah, setting aside that time is better because it's easy to be like, oh, and then you just end up working anyways.
Right, and it's like maybe I might, looking ahead. I planned it ahead, not hoping I needed it. Sometimes you don't, and you're like, I feel like working, but it's nice that it's there, and I'll just have to force myself to relax.
I'll just pretend you're in Maui or something, and then I won't like send you messages.
Well, if there's something urgent. But yeah, so
we need to find a new band member. I'm just kidding. There's nothing. I don't know. That would be the emergency.
That would, yeah, that would be awful.
We would probably. I mean, I don't want to.
Let's not do.
Let's
go
talk
down
about
this
depressing stuff.
Theoretical. Let's not. And it's not happening right now, so that's
no,
great.
no.
Everything's
Yeah,
great.
Brian's totally.
Brian's on board,
great.
and everything's going wonderful.
Yeah, he's devoted a lot of time to us, and he's excited to work on future albums and projects with us. So we have nothing to complain. But I'm a pessimist. I am a pessimist.
It's good to be prepared.
It's good to, because every phone call that I get, someone's calling me to tell me someone I love died.
Oh,
That's how I live my life in constant.
doesn't sound very.
Well, like it's in
enjoyable.
the back of my head, like just a little bit. So, because I want to be prepared for a situation. Because the things that catch me off guard and stress me out are the things that where like I'm in a good mood and I'm like really wasn't prepared for this to happen. Like the other week I got like has nothing to do with Steam Powered Giraffe, but I got the other week I had like a collections agency send me a mail thing about some court fines for a bunch of money, and they were like, you owe this and pay us up, and I was like, this isn't me. I've never lived in this county. I have no idea what they're talking about. And that was like, but the weird thing is so that put me in a bad mood because like you can't really prepare for something like that. And I got it taken care of. I used my small legal know-how to send them a letter saying the right words and not giving them any personal information of myself except the stuff they had on file already. Because collectors are weird. Debt collectors, they only have a little bit of information from you if they're buying debt from someone. And it wasn't me. Unfortunately, there's multiple David Bennetts living in my complex. Isn't that weird?
It's pretty weird.
I didn't like tell. This guy is also.
It's a coincidence, right?
Yeah, no. It could. I mean, there's probably a lot of David Bennetts out there, but my middle name didn't match up. My address nothing matched up. They just found someone like this must be him. Anyways, so I got that taken care of, but that's the kind of stuff stressed me out.
I mean, that sucks. Yeah, I had some medical issues the other week just with the insurance, which took time and sucked, but. It's all under. Fire's out, so,
It always feels bad in the moment, but then you have something else to worry. I think work helps because it's always nice feeling like you have a purpose or you need something to get done.
Purpose is good.
It's not nice to feel overwhelmed, but it's also nice to not feel like I need to focus on this one problem that I can't even solve until time lapses and it is all taken care of.
So I feel like it's been a while since we talked movies. Like what movies have come out since last week?
I've only seen one movie since the last time.
There hasn't been a lot, has there?
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I saw it twice.
I saw it twice.
I saw it once in IMAX 3D and then once with you in widescreen mode.
I saw it in Dolby Atmos with you.
Not in 3D.
Not in 3D, and then I saw it in IMAX 3D. So I saw the opposite.
I think they both brought something different to it. I liked seeing both. I did enjoy this 3D, even if it was converted. It looked pretty decent, pretty good.
Yeah. I don't usually go see movies twice, but I really loved Guardians
me
of the
neither.
Galaxy.
It just left. I saw the first Guardians like twice, maybe even 3 times. It was just so good. Like
I mean, these aren't Schindler's List movies, but these are like really well done character action movies. I don't know how else to describe it. Sci-fi, basically.
Not only does it have good character interaction, the dialogue's pretty decent. There's a lot of action. The music's amazing. The visuals are stunning.
The pacing works really well. They pack a lot into 2 hours, and it doesn't feel like like what's a comparable movie that's packs too much into it? Like the second Avengers movie. Like
yeah, that one, which is a cluster.
It feels paced well. All the characters have get their dues, quote unquote. There's no filler. It feels like.
Yeah, they it's a very simple story, and I love that they did that because they're able to just.
We're not going to spoil anything. We're just
linger on all the characters and their
it was nice
developments.
And one of those things. If I didn't James Gunn, that's the director.
Yeah, and he's great.
Yeah, if he knows how to make. I mean, and it's not for everyone. Some people aren't going to be able to relate to it. If you don't like. I don't know. Some people are going to find it hard to connect with CG characters, and there's a lot of them in the movie. But there's a lot of practical effects too. So
I think like that's one of the things that really appeals to me about it is that the majority of your cast are aliens or green or gray-skinned people, and it's in a talking raccoon. And I love Rocket, and he was amazing in that movie.
And they treat it like those characters. They're not any less, or they're like
they're not there for just comic relief. Like I mean, they are in a sense, but everything is.
The only one there that it felt out of place was Baby Groot, and that's just maybe my own personal.
Well,
opinion.
Not everyone's gonna like everything, but it's like, I don't know. For me, it's like it's a lot of people. Pick on the Hobbit movies, but I saw all of those movies except for the last one like multiple times, and the last one I just didn't see again.
I felt the first one was the strongest. The second one was not as, and then the third one was definitely like, okay, now they're just stretching it out because New Line wants them to stretch it out. I saw, even though like I didn't think they were perfect or anything, they were still really fun to see. They were well done. The problem is which Chelsea should be on here, but because she's the Lord of the Rings
not because
buff,
she would just say
you're right.
But it's terrible.
But no, I felt it's the thing is that they're not as good as Lord of the Rings movies for sure, and that's why they're bad if they are bad. But they're still really well done.
They're still really
if you didn't compare them to Lord of the Rings, you'd be
there is definitely production issues that have come out of the woodwork that kind of explain why what happened, and it's not. It should have been two movies. It should have just been two movies.
The third one's really forgettable. Like it feels like this is a half an hour that they stretched out to 2.5. This is going to be hours. Yeah,
off top. But have you seen the extended versions of all of them?
No, I haven't.
I own all of them. Oh, but the third one's really good. I was
hoping for the high frame rate 4K release, but that's never coming out.
The second and the third one, the extended ones, are so good. They add whole storylines that were cut out.
The third one, it did feel like...
Do you like watching Gandalf battle Sauron? Because you need to watch them, because
I mean,
there's so much more like
I liked all the crazy things. I liked following the production of the films, and it really was heartbreaking to see them struggle and stuff.
I enjoyed the casting. The casting was amazing. The dwarves did a great job. It's just is what it is. I don't know. Yeah. I'll always like it.
The first one is definitely memorable to me.
I didn't care for the first one as much as I cared for like. I like the second and third one more, but I don't know why. It's just I love Smaug. I love some of the pacing just feels nice in there. But the third one is a lot of action and it's kind of weird. But I
feel like we're probably. I mean, most people that talk or say it's bad.
Most people don't like The Hobbit, which I never understood. It's just like it's still like such a gorgeous movie. The music is amazing. The effects are.
I always have
astounding.
I always get the thought in my head and is like, I guess nothing's ever good enough for people. That's the thought I get a lot, is like, I guess it's a multi-billion-dollar movie, because it's not like Peter Jackson went out there and was like, I'm not gonna try as hard. Like,
yeah,
I mean, but
you gave it his best shot. It's not without its flaws, and I know that purists are always going to be like, this is not as good. I mean, some of them don't even like the Lord of the Rings because of how much is cut out and stuff,
which is ridiculous because those movies are amazing. But at the same time, like, just because you love a movie and like think it's really well done doesn't mean there's not something wrong with it.
The Hobbit is like has no reason to be 3 movies, and they stretched out, and some of the plot lines just don't go anywhere, and you're just like, what was the point?
Yeah,
the love stories and stuff.
You can tell like when you watch a movie that's like, okay, like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I feel like for the most part it felt like, oh, this all makes sense. There's nothing that's like, that's a weird choice. But when you watch something like Suicide Squad, you're like, what happened to this movie? I know there's something there, but this got ruined in editing or something. Yeah. And I feel like maybe a little bit of that happened with The Hobbit. But
some people, I mean, I did not like Suicide Squad. There was moments when it could almost redeem itself, but it never did. Some people really like that movie still, which is
no.
I don't understand it,
anyone,
but
but I look at movies as like, because I'm not as a franchise, like I know I'm never gonna like something as like the source material, right? Like if it's an original thing, then I always try to appreciate it for what it is, a movie. And that movie was not a great movie. Like it did
it
not.
it was a disappointment because it just
A good story told well. It
it's
was
supposed
not.
to be like their Marvel universe, but for DC,
Yeah.
and it's not working.
There were some nice visuals and some of the acting was good, but
Yeah.
I don't want to. Whatever. I don't want to. If everyone's has an opinion, and we're just.
It's.
You know.
I think I'm a pretty generous moviegoer.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
I mean, sometimes I just can't help not liking a movie, but typically, like, I can find something good in something, and I'm one of the few people that likes sitting down in a movie theater with an audience and enjoying something together with strangers. I like that. So I mean, going to like
No, yeah, I like that too.
horrible
yeah.
experience, like going to sticky floors and stuff. It doesn't really bother me that much.
Yeah, I've kind of gotten. I like a more upscale movie theaters now. Unfortunately, like, and if we're talking about like comfort and stuff, like when I when I went and saw the IMAX one, like that wasn't.
Where'd you go see it?
I mean, should we be saying locations of where we see movies?
Is the one I usually go to?
You
You just say no or yes.
Yes.
Well, I like that one, but sometimes
No, out of all the IMAX theaters, I think that's the best one. But compared to the theater that they have Dolby Atmos at, like, there's a quality difference, And hear about this.
Yeah.
Not just, and I'm not, and also the people that go to there. And I'm not judging people on who go there, but if you pay a premium for a ticket price, you're gonna get people who probably appreciate the experience better.
I like ArcLight. I haven't been to ArcLight in a while, but going there, it was all right. Like it's.
Who said anything about ArcLight?
There's so many ArcLights though.
There
It's
are, yeah.
But there is some of those premium ones. I know they shut one down, the closest one to us. It was like where you can actually get dinner, and I love that concept.
Was that Cineplex or Cine?
I can't remember what it's called, but you've been there, right?
Is that where we saw the Star Wars?
Star Wars, yeah.
They shut it down.
They were doing a remodeling,
Okay.
so I don't know if it's opened up
But
yet.
at the same time, it's like, oh, okay,
It's
waiter,
not
get out of my
as-
way.
It's the quality of the sound and everything is not that great. It's not the best fanciest movie theater, but it is
No.
really cool because you can eat dinner which
but-
is really nice.
So with something like with ArcLight with Dolby Atmos, like sound is a big thing for me. And
Yeah,
IMAX,
yeah.
they got really big subwoofers that make you feel like your heart's gonna explode when you're sitting really
like
close to it.
I'd rather have that than a sound that seems like it never can get over the audience chattering.
Yeah, and that's like every normal theater, even some of the better
Yeah.
theaters. So Dolby Atmos for me is the balance of IMAX, which I think is way too loud, and a normal theater, which is not quite loud enough.
What do you think about the RTX? Have you experienced that one? I haven't.
that-
I think I might have gone to one, but I don't remember.
I think I did go to one, but I don't go to enough of them to.
but is the sound quality supposed to be better, right? Like that's the whole thing.
Yeah, but the Dolby Atmos. There's something I will say that the gimmick with Dolby Atmos is okay. It's also a widescreen theaters, but it's so it's not the same aspect ratio as an IMAX film, but it's wider and it's a little curved, and it really looks amazing. But the sound system has speakers placed above you, and it actually works really well and even when you're because usually it's sound from the sides, but
I remember seeing
we're binaural beings.
I know this is. I don't know what it says about me, but we saw The Lone Ranger, I think, in Dolby Atmos, and it was just gorgeous in that
Yeah,
especially the sprawling landscapes. In that movie, like,
it's not great.
as all the problems that it had, I still really enjoyed it just because
It
it had some great moments that I think they should have just pumped up. Like all the weirdness that kind of bookends that movie is just what I wanted more. It needed to be more like Pirates and less like whatever the heck they were trying to do.
I
And
mean,
obviously the whole Johnny Depp casting was. He should not.
Yeah.
Especially now, like looking back on it, I was like, okay. But now I'm like, no, that's not all right. Like,
Well,
no, they
yeah.
should have just cast a Native American. Like,
Well, for me, the only reason I went to see it was like, oh, this is Pirates, but it's going to be cowboys. And I'm like, that sounds cool. But then you're like, well, okay, maybe.
I thought
maybe not as much.
Armie Hammer was pretty good, and I didn't Depp's performance. While there was some iffiness about it, there was some good moments, but I don't know.
They should have got.
They should have done
they
something.
should've
My
got
favorite part was seeing him older in the beginning and the
Yeah,
end because
okay.
it felt like it felt that there was magic there that the pirate movies had, but this one didn't. And then there's one scene with I think it's like rabbits and their nature's out of balance and they're like eat something, like they turn into meat eaters or something. And it's like, why can't we have more like mystical stuff like that?
It was a good looking movie, but I don't know.
So many
I don't know who it
problems.
was for.
it was full of problems, but it looked gorgeous on that screen.
Yeah, and that's a great and when I saw the IMAX one second, like I'd just seen the movie like a few days earlier, and I saw it in 3D that time, and 3D
the crispness is not there as much, right?
The
crispness of the picture.
Oh yeah, well of course
I think
in 3D,
I noticed that. Yeah.
But the problem with 3D and stuff is, in passive stuff, even active it's crosstalk. You can't get rid of it. And bright lights will get duplicated just because the lenses can only polarize so much, and that's how you get it. Different eyes are polarized differently. Anyways, so that is distracting to me, just because I've seen 3D with like better technology at my home. And the only unfortunate thing is that it's kind of going away by the wayside. So
yeah,
I don't know if 3D is cool, but I also really don't like converted 3D. It works well in all the CG parts of that movie, especially this one scene with an arrow, which that's all I'll say. That was the coolest part in 3D, I would say.
I really like the opening scene because it was mostly CG.
Yeah, anything that's already CG, and this is just a bias because Gabby Gonzalez, who does a lot of work. Steam Powered Giraffe work just every once in a while. She works at Legend 3D, which is a company that does 3D conversions for movies. And they didn't do the conversion for this movie for Guardians, but Stereo D did, which is their competitor, and they have two different techniques to do it. We should have Gabby on to talk about this sometime.
Does she still do that?
Yeah.
She still works for them.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yep. On top of all her makeup stuff and stuff.
I don't know how
super
she
busy.
has time.
Well, she's one of those.
But there's two techniques.
Yeah, and Stereo D does a gradient system where it's like the lighter stuff is more closer to in the depth, and the darker stuff is in the back. So they just have these gradients everywhere. Whereas Legend 3D apparently, and am I divulging trade secrets? I don't know. No one's listening to this. I think this is just the two processes, and it's actually done like in polygons, which is like superior. Like, and now that of course, because Gabby, when I go see a movie with her, like, oh yeah, we converted this one, or no, Stereo did this one, she'll point out all the flaws and like, see that, look at his hair, it's like it's part of the background and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be in here, and that's all I can see in the Guardians movie is like, and especially on a second viewing, like because then you're like, why is his hair? And I get it. Hair must be really hard to convert because it's all wispy, and you're like, are you gonna? And they're not going to spend time putting that.
Do they make the polygons for the hair in the other one, or they just have like
I saw some stuff where they just literally.
No, I mean for if it had been when the Gabby's company works on it.
They can. It's just that they probably won't devote that much time to it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a hard process to do. It's
but the general audience isn't going to notice it. But the thing is like once you see a converted, I'm not saying it's bad because all the CG stuff and converted stuff, they have all the 3D assets, so it's not really converted. It's like, well, it's 3D. It works. You're automatically having two cameras because you have the actual objects that they can put in there compared to. Here's a human that we have to trace out in rotoscope.
I've caught it when it's really bad. Some of the like
Avatar: The Last Airbender was the worst 3D conversion I've ever seen.
I know. I think like some of the Clash of the Titans or the sequel. They look like paper cutouts.
But to be fair, like the stuff that I'm complaining about, like it's top quality like conversion. Like no one's getting any better than that. But it's like it's not good enough for me because when you see a movie that's actually shot in 3D, it looks amazing.
This is why Avatar looks amazing. This is why Hugo looks amazing in 3D.
Or if you go see any CG film like from Pixar or DreamWorks, I don't think it will look amazing.
I think I saw Storks in 3D and it was amazing.
And that movie probably is terrible, right?
No, I loved it. It was so funny.
Was it?
Yeah.
But I don't really like babies.
Right, but it's not really. I don't know.
I don't really want to spend money on storks.
I mean, I think it might be free. I mean, you should definitely watch it.
At this point, they're just throwing it away.
It's not. It's actually really good.
Okay, well,
it's more about.
I take it back. Stork producers, if you really need
Storks.
Some
it was like
talent,
it felt like a
Storks too.
Classic.
Bunny and I would love to be
story.
A Storks.
Like I don't know, like a classic cartoon.
Okay.
Like it felt like this is something I would grow up watching.
Do they have teeth? Do the birds have teeth?
They do. They use their wings as but it's like a. I don't know how to describe it. It just does things that you're not expecting it to do.
As long as there's no talking cars.
No, but it's a very cute movie. Makes you cry. It's really good.
Guy cried during Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I cried both times, and I thought the second time, oh, I'm going to be expecting it, but then it's like...
No, me too, both times. Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to spoil anything.
Well,
It's like-
it's not just what happens in the movie, it's also the themes.
right.
And that's great. I mean, I don't even relate to some of the themes when I was crying for him.
You might want to, like, skip ahead, but, like, the...
We're not
I'm not
spoiling
going to
anything,
spoil
right?
anything, but just, like, just the themes of, like, family throughout the two movies.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it just really hits home with me, and, like, it's just... It's like family isn't just your birth parents all the time.
And that
both
means a lot,
times they
yeah.
always say that. And I love, like, I went into the first Guardians thinking that I was going to hate Rocket. I was like, I do not want to support this talking animal. He's just probably there for like comedic relief, and he's not going to be interesting.
Like, oh, Groot's that. No.
He's my favorite character. I mean,
yeah.
Groot's was amazing too in the first movie, but it's just like Rocket just had so much heart, and he still does, and he's a very imperfect person. And
You know what I like about it? This is in comparison to some of the other Marvel movies. I feel like they're shells of people. Where
Right.
Guardians is character driven, and the first one was a little plot driven, but the second one is totally character driven. The plot is memorable because it's not driven by the plot. Like, it's not like, oh, giant laser in the sky. That's all. I don't remember what the first one was about. You know, but I do remember what the second one was about because it was all character driven.
it was good. I mean, the first one just...
The first one was great, but
was-
I just feel like that's how you kind of know that the story was. Marvel definitely did hands off on this movie, and it's totally noticeable. I think
It's. I mean, you compare it to like Doctor Strange, which had great visuals,
Yeah,
and some of
I
the
liked
casting
all that
choices
stuff.
were amazing, and I don't know what Benedict Cumberbatch was
but
doing.
it did feel a little empty, right?
It felt like when Tilda Swinton was on screen, there was like a warmth. There was
Okay,
the
yeah, Tilda
movie
Swinton was good,
The
but
movie,
yeah.
the movie, like it kind of rose above, and every time.
And that ending, the ending was great. I thought that was the best.
Yeah.
That was the best boss fight, quote unquote, ever.
I just don't. It just the differences are just.
It feels like heart. I think that's the.
It's the same with Ant-Man and stuff. It's like the heart's kind of gutted from a lot of it, just because of how they're directing the actors and stuff.
Yeah, and that's not to blame any of the people that are playing the
And I think
parts,
all
you
the
know?
Marvel movies suffer from this to an extent. It's the kind of the difference, like why Iron Man 1 and why even though people don't like Iron Man 2, like the best parts about Iron Man like 3 and 1 and
Yeah, are
most of the
hearts.
Avengers movie is freaking Robert Downey Jr. showing up on screen because he knows how to command and like elicit emotion like
But, you know,
from
and
his scene.
and that's why it's when I think about all the Avengers, like I do like Tony Stark the most because he's a flawed character.
He's
and
not my favorite superhero, but,
No, yeah.
but as a character, I love
he's more
his
interesting
story.
than Thor, which is a god. You know, I mean, not to
Yeah.
say that I don't like all that stuff. I'll go see Thor Ragnarok. It looks pretty fun, I guess. But
Right.
But it is the heart thing, and you know what? Why I like Guardians is all of them are flawed people, and I feel like a flawed person. Just being a person, everyone does. So and it feels like these are real. These are real people. Like,
Yeah.
and that's why. But look, they're making the choice to be better in their own way, and that's what the movie's about. And I think we have the director to thank for that because he wrote the script and he directed it, and that's different than having a bunch of writers in a room, and then having a director who reads the script and like, oh, I know what I'm
Right.
doing. Like, he knows what he's gonna make when he's writing it, and that's the difference, I think. I'm not gonna say that the stuff that they can churn out with a bunch of writers is terrible, but compared to the way that Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is done,
I liked it. It also just
yeah.
didn't suffer from like overly complicated plots. Like I know everyone likes Civil War, and I enjoyed it too. But
Yeah.
the more you start thinking about it, you're like, man, this is like a lot of hoping. This is a lot of hoping that the bad guy's plan goes off without a hitch, just so Tony Stark can punch
yeah.
Captain America in the face. Like
Yeah.
this had to work out really specifically to get to that point. Was he hoping? Did he know that was the end game? But I love that Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like it didn't have too many of those moments where it's like, well, what? Wait a minute. It's
Yeah,
like,
there's no little plot holes that are kind of like
there's not glaring plot holes
because
it
it
seems
all,
believable.
Yeah, because for the reason that you're in your seat to wait till the next minute is because of the characters. You're like it is then when you have all that character stuff, the payoff for the stuff that in other movies would be like, I've seen this, I've seen the camera pan around a group of people 300 times in a movie before. But when it doesn't in Guardians, it's a payoff because, and I felt that way in the first Avengers movie too, because I really felt they played that.
Well, there's a reason too.
Yeah.
Like when the first time you see the Avengers assemble, it's like your heart goes like because they're all helping each other. Like the first time Hulk actually like does something good for once,
and because
like
they had a setup, they had emotional
Right.
setup, and I think that was missing from the second one.
don't even get me started about the Coulson. Like, they should bring him back. He's alive, and he's on his own TV series, and he needs to get back in the movies. Do you know that Agent Coulson now has a robot hand that has a laser shield that comes out of it?
No, because I didn't watch
It's
Agents
so
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
cool. He used it recently to kill a robot. He's like, what are you going to do now without your shield? And then he makes the shield appear, and it severs the guy's face off.
What, in the show?
Yeah.
Is Ghost Rider still a thing or no?
Oh my god. I was disappointed because like mid-season, his story arc was over, and they started going with this whole life model decoy. It's just a weird robot android thing. But then right at the end, like, all this stuff goes down, and this supervillain's created. And then who steps through the Hellgate but Ghost Rider, and he's looking all badass, and he throws his flaming, and he's like, yes, Ghost Rider's coming to clean up the end of the season.
Why can't they have Ghost Rider movie that's not the first two?
Right.
I want him in the Marvel universe.
He's definitely one of the highlights of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's one of the only reasons I would keep watching it, because of Coulson and Ghost Rider are just amazing, and obviously Fitz.
It's nice that we agree on a lot of things.
Fitz and
we both like Nightcrawler.
Gemma.
We both like Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider is an amazing character, and I hope they do. But the way that they set it up is that they can make someone else Ghost Rider. Like, it's not just because it's on the TV series doesn't mean we won't get a movie.
Yeah,
like,
that'd be cool.
Because there's multiple Ghost Riders in the show.
I like in the Marvel Heroes Unite. There's the female Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I that's the one I usually play.
I don't know if it's the Heroes Unite. I just made up a name for the game.
I don't know.
It's coming out to PS4.
Wait,
Marvel Heroes Omega.
We were talking about other things. We kind of got sidetracked. Marvel movies, Guardians. White's great. It's amazing.
Yeah, and watching it, I just wanted to see more movies like that. It made me happy. I was like, this is the movie I want to see. Like,
I keep like coming back to like why is it so amazing? Even the credits were amazing. Like the artistry, even the song that plays with David Hasselhoff.
That's another thing. The song choices, they all had a purpose. Unlike Suicide Squad,
right?
Like, every single song made. I mean, like, without spoiling it, like, there's a song where you see this character who's like a god, and the song that's playing is George Harrison's
My Sweet Lord.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, this is the perfect song for it.
Yeah.
And this is not, and I feel like we're not like Marvel or DC fan people.
No.
Like, I just like, I do like X-Men more than anything else, but I'm not like a Marvel fan or a DC fan. I just like different characters. I like Ghost Rider over anything else.
You were talking about like the slow-mo. There's a lot of slow-mo scenes in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But you know what? They always follow some sort of emotional beat.
Yeah.
Like, they did one where it was all about Rocket and Quill like having an argument and stuff, and it really hit hard. And then the song that was playing was like
the thing, and then it continues on the next scene, and you get the great visuals. There's some stellar visuals in this movie.
The makeup, the practical effects, the robots that were in the ice planet were amazing. Like,
because here's the thing: is you can say the same thing about like any of the other Marvel movies, but the difference is that it was so obvious that these were specific choices made by a specific person. There's no too many chefs in the kitchen, and it's like it feels like a work of art compared to something that feels like.
Yeah,
like a bunch of different artists came together and made something that's a little mediocre.
It felt like showcasing all the beauty in the world that they constructed was an afterthought, which is signs of a really good movie. When you don't have to linger on an opening shot and stuff just to establish that, look at all these pretty effects, that you put them in the background. Like, one of the first things is that creature shooting out like an aurora borealis everywhere, and it's such a subtle touch, but it makes Groot's opening number in the movie like amazing.
Minor spoilers, but yeah.
Well, obviously
you've seen trailers, so maybe you've seen some of it.
But yeah, it's just like the colors and everything, how they make that work, and
it is a really colorful. It's more colorful than the first Guardians movie. It still has that weird, apparently the Marvel tinge. That's kind of like, it's not too colorful, but it's really more colorful than any of it.
I like the David Hasselhoff at the end, which is like a reprise of the main theme. But then like how they refer to David Hasselhoff in the movie, or how Gamora refers to it.
Yes,
and then that's what the chorus is chanting in the song. It's like just those little touches of like, of self-awareness.
But yeah, so that it's a good movie. Oh, and I was happy to I follow Red Letter Media all the time on YouTube, and I subscribe to them, and I watch all their stuff because I really agree with them on pretty much everything. But they did a Half in the Bag, which is them reviewing movies, and they liked it, and all this, when they explained why it was good in it, and I agreed with them. And if you should definitely take a listen to that YouTube video, because they they know what they're talking about. With
a lot of
films,
people.
It's nice to hear. It's nice to hear, and not an echo
Right.
chamber, but like, oh, that's why I like.
I've heard a lot of people say they don't like it, and it's like I think a lot of Marvel fans or whatever, they were probably not. They didn't like the first one. They want a serious. They don't want all the comedy and stuff.
I don't really know what they want, but that's the thing is like we're not the audience,
right?
Or maybe we are because like
the movie's doing amazingly. I think it surpassed the first Guardians, and it's still going on.
Oh yeah,
I think they're hoping that it'll get to $1 billion or
within
something.
the first week. They've already signed on to do the third movie, and you know what? Seeing a movie like this, it doesn't make me excited for another Guardians movie. Of course, I want to see it, but I know the next Guardians movie before 3 is going to be them in Infinity War.
It's going to be it's going to be
and it's going to be directed by the Captain America people. And I'm like, no.
The Infinity War is going to be over before we get another Guardians movie.
Yeah, and that's next year.
The first one's going to be like the Gauntlet, and then the second one's going to be the War.
But it's going to be so different if we have the Guardians characters.
It's great. It's already confirmed. They got Gamora, they got Nova on board, they got Peter Quill, they got the whole gang.
Who's the brother team that directs those Captain America movies?
I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about. They're not bad though. I mean,
no, I thought Winter Soldier was good. I just felt like this isn't a superhero movie.
Yeah, I mean Civil War had some great parts in it. Like I enjoyed.
There was some stuff, but
there was at least some character development. I think just like Age of Ultron, except Civil War does it better. The more times you watch it, the more you get out of the movie. Like Age of Ultron, you have to watch like 5 times, and then you're like, okay, all the beats are just shoved and compact in there. Like there's so much going on in Age of Ultron, you can't catch all the emotional beats.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the director for that one, but I feel because it's like, how could he could not do it. That's impossible.
I think they needed to simplify the plot a lot more.
Yeah,
and I think adding Quicksilver and Wanda was a bad idea.
Yeah,
they should have just done her.
Plus,
or something.
like that Quicksilver's not going to compare to the one in X-Men. Like,
but I think Quicksilver was. I mean, spoilers, but Quicksilver served a purpose, and that's why he was in the movie.
Yeah. But the X-Men Quicksilver, that's the better Quicksilver.
Well, I didn't really like the last movie, but it was
really.
It was
no, yeah, you're right.
The ending was just so cliche, but
there were good moments, but the ending felt like okay, now we're in
spoiling some stuff. But when Michael Fassbender throws down those beams to form the X, it was like or when the movie closes and they have the original costumes, that was really cool.
There are some moments, but it felt a little more hokey than the other ones.
It got a little into X-Men 3 territory, just a little bit at the end there.
But there are some good movies. Obviously, the Quicksilver scene is just as good as the one from the. Like I don't know how I was like, how are they going to top this? And I'm like, they did it.
They did it. I really I don't know what they're going to do right now, but they need to
stop. Quit while you're.
They need to reboot the X-Men and give them to Marvel. That's what they need to do. But you know
what? Here's another thing. Aside from that whole popcorny superhero movie, Logan. I liked Logan.
I liked Logan. I just felt I wanted to see the. I don't know. I wanted to see mutants or something right at the end, like their old friends coming back or something like that. It felt like the ending was just kind of like meh.
I like the ending with the little cross and making it into an X. Like that was that was good.
I liked the kid with the Wolverine figure. That was pretty cool.
So, but I think my only complaint with the movie, because the best part about it is it was not a superhero movie. It was just it was another character piece, and it was great.
Yeah, it was,
and that's what's gonna make a good movie. And
I like the journey was amazing. The ending was kind of eh.
Yeah, I feel like going out with kids is not a good ending because I can't feel emotion with. I mean, they're good actors, and the girl actor is there, but all those kids actors, I wasn't buying it, like because I don't feel emotion from kids.
It kind of broke down some of the cheesy effects right at the end, but it was still a really great movie. Like
you know what because other than the end, it's just you wouldn't even know it's a superhero movie. You know what I mean? Like,
well, there's a lot of.
And it's a lower budget
going on, but
and
you know what the problem with the X-Men movie? I feel like it's the same story over and over again, and even with Logan, it's like the government's interfering, making their own mutants.
Yeah.
And how many? It just feels like since X-Men 2 or even 1, it's just the same story over and over again. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired. I
mean, it's unfortunate because it's like a separate property, and like if Marvel had it, they could just do what they wanted.
I think that what they should do, even though I might not be the target audience and you might not be the target audience, the best thing they could do with the X-Men right now is make a television series, which would not be what you wanted. It'd have a lot of talking and stuff, but because of the amount of characters in X-Men and stuff, it makes sense to have all these arcs and stuff, and they can go to school, they can train with Professor X, recast everything, and start it from scratch.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I wouldn't watch it, but
I don't know what the next X-Men movie is, but
I don't know. Does Deadpool count?
Deadpool was good.
I think.
See, I think we appreciate so many movies where other people would be like, but they wouldn't, right?
But we also appreciate we appreciate lots of different types of food. We appreciate lots of different types of music. Even
though I say I'm pessimistic, like I actually try to enjoy most things.
Everyone's got their opinions.
Except for Coffee, Mint, and Cars from Pixar.
I mean, I think the older I get, I'm also just having less and less like, what's the word?
Hang-ups, reservations,
like absolutes. The older you get, I think you just kind of like stop caring as much. But
I mean,
there's still a couple things.
We know what a crappy movie is, or at least for us, I suppose. Like, there's a few movies that we probably disagree on, like liking, but I feel for most part, like.
Have you seen Warcraft yet?
No.
You should really see it. You would think the same about me, I bet. You're gonna be like, the orcs are amazing. They should have just made a whole movie about the orcs, and all the humans are like plastic figures.
The reviews I said kind of echo that too. So
everyone, it was like it's like a movie that's like half of it's like amazing, like Lord of the Rings, and the rest is awful.
Cringeworthy.
Is like a made-for-TV movie. I don't even know. Yeah. So, but I think you'd agree with that.
I don't know. The next, well, let's see. There's the next movie. Unfortunately, the superhero movies are taking the cake with what's coming up, I suppose. But there's the Spider-Man Homecoming, which I don't really care to see another Spider-Man movie, but I guess I'll probably see it.
For that one, I'm like, it seems like they've spoiled everything in the trailers.
Yeah.
We know I can tell you the exact plot, and I'm not going to spoil anything because it's all in the trailers. So basically what happens is Peter Parker has his new suit from Robert Downey Jr. in there. And, they meet up and stuff. And his friend finds out that he's Spider-Man.
Yep, that's in the
and then this guy with his friend builds a vulture suit, a flying suit.
That's in the trailers too.
And things don't go so well when Spider-Man confronts him, and Iron Man has to come in and help Peter Parker. And then
in the trailer.
He takes away Spider-Man's suit.
Yep, that's in the trailer too.
And says, "You're not ready. You're not good enough." So he has to go back to his old crappy outfit.
Yeah.
And he decides that he's going to take on the Vulture anyways with doing nothing. And that's the entire movie. That's the whole movie. Because it's all in the trailers.
That was it. They used to just do that. They used to say the whole plot in movie trailers.
I mean,
now we have a little subtlety to make you want to go see the movie.
Remember with the first trailer to Peter Jackson's King Kong? That one did the trailer's the best because they shot new material just for the trailer, and then they didn't show you anything else until you got into the theater, and everything was amazing because you didn't know what to expect.
I liked that.
And
you know what? Even though, like, on hindsight, it's like, I guess those apatosaurus
even Avatar did the same thing. Their trailers were just, they teased these amazing visuals, and then they didn't give you anything else. And Spider-Man tells you the whole story right there.
And see, we're not Marvel fanboys because look, we're only Guardians now.
I don't think
fan people.
I don't think the Spider-Man movies for us. I think it's Spider-Man has always been for kids.
Yeah, he's a teenager,
and it's good. It's great. I think that
I saw that when we were teenagers when we saw it when the first one came out.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire, which was cool except for the villain.
The second Spider-Man movie is the best.
The best, yes.
There are some parts in 3 that I liked, but no, it's garbage.
The first Amazing Spider-Man was actually pretty good. It's just it's just the same story.
And it doesn't hold up because of every superhero movie.
I like the lizard actor. He's great.
That one.
Have you seen him in that movie about...
I like the first one. The first Amazing Spider-Man, I thought, well, we've already seen this, but it was a good movie, I thought.
It was good.
But that's the problem is when you have something to compare it to, like a bunch of other Spider-Man movies, you're like...
At this time, they're actually using a kid. He's a kid. Like, he's going to grow up real fast.
And we don't need an origin story because we've already kind of seen him in...
He did kind of feel shoehorned into Civil War, but who cares? We were excited. And that was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's for kids, and it's going to be... But it's relatable. He's actually in high school, surrounded by kids that actually look like kids.
But he looks younger.
When I was in high school, I was like, why doesn't anyone look like they do on TV? Like, like everyone's just kind of weird in adolescent phase, and it's like that's because that's what kids look like. So in the new Spider-Man movie, at least all the kids look like kids. Like they're not all that's super chiseled 20-year-olds.
Yeah. But also, I think I'm more excited to see Thor Ragnarok.
That one looks amazing because it looks like they're basing it on the 80s Thor comics, which is basically like bright neon colors back then.
And also they're throwing the Planet Hulk stuff in there a little bit too.
Planet Hulk, and they're connecting it with some tissue to Guardians of the Galaxy with not only the alien races but the designs.
Jeff Goldblum was at the end credit. Spoilers. You can see him in the end credits of Guardians.
Oh, he's just like
a little, not a cameo, but like literally, you can if you look hard enough, you'll see him dancing. But yeah, it looks like 80s Guardians. It looks like they're just taking cues from Guardians, and that's good because Guardians is really
right off the bat. They gave Thor back his helmet finally, even though it's not obviously. It's just like something that he's putting on because
these are all trailers. Everything's in the trailers.
He puts on the helmet that looks like his old helmet. It's not supposed to be his helmet, but it's a nod that yes, he's supposed to wear a helmet, and the actor didn't want to wear a helmet, and yeah. So it's great that they got that back because it actually looks pretty sweet. I hope he keeps it. But
I like the tongue-in-cheek stuff, like with the Hulk, and that's like, okay, everyone's gonna like that.
And the villain looks really cool. If you look in the comics, she looks like she came right out of the comic pages.
And you know what? It's taken away the worst part of Thor movies, which was, except for the first one, which was Earth. Which, like,
yeah.
And they're taking away Asgard because we've already seen that in 2 enough.
They tease some Asgard, and it looks like it's going back to the Kenneth Branagh vision.
It looks like it's being destroyed from the first 5 seconds of the
trailer. But it looks more golden and charming than Game of Thronesy, like the second one, which was awful. I hated what they did to Asgard in the second one. I hated most things about the second movie, but this looks like it looks character driven. It's not like we need to find an Infinity Stone. And they're doing something great. They're taking away his power, which was great in the first one. Or I don't know if they're taking away his power. I don't know for sure, but we kind of that's what they hint at something like that happening.
The first 2 seconds of the trailer, his
Mew Mew blows up.
Yulmir.
It's Mew Mew, right?
Mew.
So there's someone that makes plushes.
Hammer.
You know, because in the first movie, the friend doesn't know how to say the hammer's name. It says Mew Mew. It's Mjolnir. But there's someone on Etsy who makes plush Thor hammers that are cats. I want one. Because they're Mew Mews.
And okay, so the next movie after Thor Ragnarok is, I believe it's the Black Panther movie.
After November, so this one will be isn't it? I think it's the Infinity Gauntlet.
That comes out May next year.
Okay, so
and I think Black Panther's in February.
Really? We get 3 movies next year.
I think so.
That's cool.
Unless they get pushed back.
We got which is crazy. We got Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm worried to see Guardians now because they're so great in my mind with.
But it was kind of like that with the what followed Guardians of the Galaxy? Was it
Ant-Man?
No, it wasn't Ant-Man. It must have been. It was Ultron, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was.
It was meh. It was meh.
No, seeing a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 makes me excited for whatever James Gunn comes up with now. His other, I can't say I'm familiar with most. I mean, I know what his other work is, but like now he's going to be on my radar forever because it's going to be like, I really like that director.
Yeah, and his brother was really great in it too.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen Slither, and I should see it because it stars. I think it stars his brother, and it stars
the guy who played Yondu.
Yeah.
Which is great. I think that's great that it's a character. It almost seems like an actor that would never be cast unless there was a connection to the director, because they would have picked some other guy that looked more.
He was in the first one, but not. He didn't have as big a part. He has a bigger one in the second one, and he has some really great lines.
Oh yeah, I'm so happy that they brought him back because he ended up being my favorite character. Second to the CGI animals.
Right at the end. So great stuff.
Well, go see the movie if you haven't, and make your own opinions. I will say the Penyacs were mediocre about it, so it's not for everyone.
I didn't ask him because it's just like I can't believe that.
But to be fair, I'm not judging people on how they are, but I think they have the movie connected to us, and it won't connect to everyone.
Well, I think we've had some trauma. We were outcasts for most of our lives,
and basically we want to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
That too. Well, we were nerds. We were made fun of and stuff, and that changed senior year. Like we became popular kids because
popular, quote unquote.
Well, what is popularity except
when
finding your clique and
the theater scene.
Yeah, and people appreciated that because our talents were on display, but like. We've always been like the oddballs, and it's not something that we like. Yay, we're so proud of this. It's just that no matter how hard we try, we're nerds. We can't fit in with more stable people.
Well, I don't think we can even fit in with some of the nerds, like because I can't be obsessive as much as other folks because I still feel pretty grounded in some. sense.
I think we're just the type of person that this movie connected with, like on such a great level. It has, like. We the family issues, the diversity of the cast and everything. It all just appeals so much.
But reading interviews with the director, it's like this wasn't just a movie for him to make money with. This was like a work of love for him, and it was so personal to him. And that's why the connection happened.
The director has also admitted, and I didn't read this going in. I didn't know any of it. After the fact, I looked into it, but like he had a rough upbringing. Like he had some incidents in his life that challenged him, and was really great to like. I don't know.
He told a story that meant a lot to him, and he obviously put the heart into it. And there's a great quote where he said that maybe last year or something, where like if you think these big budget superhero movies doesn't have heart in them, then you must be mistaken, because after seeing Guardians, it's like
it should win an Academy Award.
It won't.
It won't, because they don't do superhero movies, but it's so good.
I mean, take away all the superhero stuff. It's
Did Birdman get to win awards? Because that technically
did. Yeah,
that wasn't technically a superhero. That was also really good.
That was good. Yeah.
Michael Keaton is reprising his role. I love Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
You know the best thing about RoboCop, that remake, was Gary Oldman and Michael Keaton seeing who could act better.
And you know what the worst part of RoboCop was? RoboCop.
But when you got both of them in the room and they were screaming at each other, it was like,
good.
It was like, gosh, they're both so great acting, and this is like the best scene on stage.
Yeah.
The part I loved most about RoboCop was that, and also the reveal of that he's just like this head with all his organs and stuff.
That was a pretty creepy
That's a
scene.
great. It's a PG-13 movie, but that was so much more disturbing than him just being like blown to smithereens by a bunch of machine guns.
In the 80s one, right?
Just because the reveal was so like
shocking.
I just got this like lump in my throat.
But then you start feeling, and unfortunately it doesn't carry for the rest of the movie. Like a little bit, it kind of fades away, and then it's just an action movie. But you're feeling for that character, because you're like, oh crap, like
the first RoboCop
he's not even human anymore.
Is pretty disturbing the whole way through. Like it's uncomfortable to watch, and the ads are hilarious. That's director's kind of signature. They didn't really imitate that in the new one, but we could talk movies forever. Actually, I think I need to get going. So.
Okay, well, yeah, we've been doing it for about an hour and a half. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Yeah, we'll be back as soon as we can. I don't know what the podcast's next date is, but I'm sure it'll be here soon.
We'll check the Twitter. I'll usually post it on there.
I'll be streaming later tonight. Twitch. Check it out.
You want me to do it this time?
Sure, go ahead.
I'll do the same one.
I don't know about the harmonies, though. Well, whatever. Let's try it.
It's a podcast from Steam Powered Giraffe. Wait, that's not how it goes.
I don't know. It's your song.
There we go. 2. It's a podcast from Steam Powered Giraffe. It's the Bennettarium. Only Bunny and David on the podcast today. It was the Bennettarium. It's the Bennettarium, and it's over right now.
I did not know the harmonies, but anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. We will see you, or you will hear us very soon.